And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for Wednesday night's episode of Krypton, and of course, its season premiere, season number 2, episode 1. So, Krypton's back, folks, and I'm kind of glad it's back because I liked that first season, and it was very, at some points it was confusing because, there are moments where you're like, wait, who's he? He's the grandson of what? Who? Yeah, we all know the whole Superman story. And so at the end of that season, we all knew Brainiac was coming for Krypton a little bit early to try to get rid of Superman in the future. So Adam Strange literally goes to the past, try to meet his great-grandfather, Zagel, who basically he tells him, hey, listen, man, your grandson's going to grow up to become Superman. We need your help. So they finally, at the end of the season, counter Brainiac. They beat him, and then they try to send him to the Phantom Zone, and of course Zagel, he ends up going to the Phantom Zone himself. So Nyssa, basically his baby mama, and everybody else, his grandfather, who at the beginning of the season got sucked into the Phantom Zone or disappeared and nobody knew what happened to him, and then we find out he's alive. He comes, they all try to figure out a way to save him. While that all happens, freaking Zod decides, you know what, let me just take over Krypton now and see what my destiny and future hold, So we got to see that. So that was pretty interesting. And of course they got Doomsday on the loose as well. And, with Doomsday on the loose, it doesn't basically help the situation any further. So we have Zagel basically in the Phantom Zone, literally trying to figure out a way out. He eventually does by being tricked by Brainiac to basically let him out as well, so that way Brainiac continue his onslaught, his rampage, and with Brainiac out in the future, Adam Strange pretty much gets his whole town, or I think Brooklyn, gets jarred, like how Brainiac does in the comics, where he takes cities, just shrinks them, and he puts them in glass jars. That's the same thing that happens to Kandor, where Supergirl's from, but that's a whole different situation. So now we have Zod basically in charge of Krypton. Why? Well, because Zod has always been that one guy who always wanted to have dominance against anything he's ever been put in front. Have anything in front of him. He wanted to have dominance on Krypton. He tried to have it. He lost it because of Jor-El at one point. Then he went to Earth, tried to do it there. Superman stopped him, so why not try again? But this time in the past, where there's no Jor-El and there's no Superman yet. So, and of course hanging out with his own mother, who's at this point Zagel's age, and his former lover, does help out the situation a lot more because she has a military background in her own right. So, pretty much, Zod has basically taken over leadership of Krypton, taken Zagel's son, and of course Nyssa as well. So, and then of course, to sprinkle near the end of the episode, we get to find out that Lobo's in town. Now Lobo ends up showing up at the end of the episode when he finds Adam Strange, who finds a way to get into the Phantom Zone to try to get Zagel back. And of course, when you go back in time certain times, things start to happen where you're like, uh-oh, something's gonna happen. Even though Zagel got out, he got tricked by Brainiac, beat him to a pulp, so his body is destroyed. But then at the end of the episode, we find out that Brainiac's in Zagel, which makes total sense, because Brainiac does that from time to time. He does that a lot with Lex Luthor in the comics, and of course in the cartoons and all that stuff. So it was bound to happen eventually. And then, of course, the ending shows Lobo basically trying to figure out who the heck these guys are. Now, if you don't know who Lobo is pretty much our, DC's version of Deadpool. He's a bounty hunter, loudmouth. He's very obnoxious, but a badass in his own right. And very cool. So, for a first impression, not bad. He talks the talk, but let's see if he can carry it, So I like that. That was pretty interesting. The whole opening monologue where you see Zod just at this peak of power where he's always wanted to be in his life. We got to see that. That was pretty interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see Doomsday pop up, because Doomsday looking better than he did when, you know, they showed him Smallville. That was pretty hard to watch. Yeah, and he looks a lot better than he does in Batman v Superman too. So good on that. So let's see what happens. But also, I have one negative about this episode. I really wish that the Krypton creators didn't or Sci-Fi or wherever had this idea to let's make a Lobo show now. It's like, okay, pump the brakes, calm down. He's only been in one episode. We might not even like his character moving forward. He might be in there for like 5 minutes. It's like, ugh, he was horrible. So let's not just conclude that, oh yeah, he was great in the first episode he shows up in. Let's make a show about him now. It's like saying the same thing about Doomsday. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. Calm down. Hit the brakes. Wait to see how the season goes. If it does well, obviously then you continue with it. But I'm pretty sure Lobo is gonna be in good hands. But seriously, let's just not rush this. DC has a habit of like, oh, people like that. Let's just make a show out of it. You know, they did it with Batwoman, but you know, let's see how that turns out. You know, when they do the CW version. But like I said, Krypton's back. I'm glad it's back, and I'm looking forward to seeing the season. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this first episode of season 2, and what are you guys looking forward to the most? For me, I want to see some Doomsday action. Obviously, we're not gonna see him rip and destroy people's guts out. So, but I am looking forward to seeing Doomsday and see what he brings to the story of this season. So, let's see what happens. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Thank you very much and have a good day.